With these hidden secrets of The Last of Us, the game's world will forever change in your eyes. 97% of players don't even know one of them. Developer warning, these secrets were never meant to be revealed. If you think you fully understood the story, you're dead wrong. This video will destroy all your theories. After seeing these truths, you'll never experience The Last of Us the same way again. In the depths and intricacies of Joel and Ellie's adventure in the world of The Last of Us, significant and hidden insights lie, which can only be revealed through careful and profound examination, leading to enlightening concepts. One of the most poignant and memorable scenes at the end of the first part of the game occurs when Joel stands before Ellie, and Ellie asks him to swear that everything you said about the Fireflies is true. A deadly silence fills this moment, and ultimately, Joel responds, "I swear." At this moment, I expected Ellie to react strongly, to disagree, or to lose her trust in Joel, but she did not. This indicates the beautiful concept of tahafo, deliberate ignorance. Tahafo means intentionally closing one's eyes to certain matters. It implies that a person knows that another is lying, but chooses to overlook this truth. Ellie could easily have called Joel a liar and arrived at painful conclusions, but she decided to turn a blind eye to this reality because she did not want to question Joel's dignity, who acts as a father figure to her, or undermine her own. This behavior is similar to that of a teacher who sometimes overlooks students' strange excuses for not doing their homework in order to continue their teaching. In fact, tahaful is sometimes necessary to prevent a friendship or love from becoming strained. Honor is a revolutionary state within a person that takes them out of their normal state and motivates them to defend their values. In The Last of Us, we witness Joel's protective instinct towards Ellie, whom he sees as a daughter. This sense of honor reaches its peak in the scene where Ellie is placed on the hospital bed, and they are about to operate on her, potentially damaging her brain. In this moment, Joel is no longer the man he used to be, and the situation takes on new meaning for him. This inner transformation in Joel is a revolution that alters him into a different character. He goes so far as to kill those who threaten his most valuable possession, becoming somewhat of a Max Payne. The mischief and humor of Ellie throughout this story serve to balance the tragic narrative. In moments when silence prevails between characters, Ellie lightens the mood with her jokes, bringing smiles to Joel's face and ours as well. For instance, when Joel is searching in a dilapidated hotel, Ellie goes to the front desk and says, "Welcome! What room would you like me to reserve for you?" While the hotel has no rooms at all and cannot truly be called a hotel. Or when she is in the car with Joel and playfully says, "I'm just messing with you." All these moments occur in a terrifying and hopeless atmosphere. In this dark world, Ellie shows that even in the worst conditions, one can smile and keep joy alive. In my opinion, the best moments of the story are those times when Ellie, through her humor, turns difficult times into cherished memories. Now, let's compare another relationship with that of Joel and Sarah. Although the former is of a fraternal nature and the latter is paternal, the difference in these relationships offers us interesting insights throughout the story. One of the most heartbreaking scenes occurs when we learn that one character has turned into a zombie and attacks Ellie. This moment ends with a gunshot and the death of that character, and the older brother, overwhelmed by this event, commits suicide. In contrast, when Sarah is killed, Joel is in shock and disbelief, with tears streaming down his face. This emotional scene reveals the depth of Joel's pain and sorrow, yet as the story progresses, he keeps these emotions within and does not show signs of irrational behavior. While the older brother, unable to control his feelings due to his sibling's death, takes his own life, Joel, who has lost his daughter, never considers suicide as a solution and continues on his path. Although Joel undergoes a transformation when Ellie is close to death, This change is rooted in his nostalgic fear of losing his daughter. This is where the issues of honor and protection of loved ones reach their peak. These instances highlight the differences in individuals' purposefulness and attachments. Some attachments can be accepted, and their loss can be endured, while others find themselves unable to withstand hardships and resort to suicide. To say that someone had no one in there for suicide is logical reflects a lack of purpose in life. Ultimately, parting from loved ones, whether due to death or life changes, is a natural occurrence and should not be seen as justification for irrational actions. At first glance, paying attention to small details and seemingly worthless objects in the world of video games might seem trivial. However, the fact that we can collect these junk items to improve our weapons and equipment or create new items conveys a deeper meaning. Even worthless objects can hold value. In a real-world context, we might not seek out such trivial items, viewing them merely as extra burdens. Yet, games encourage us to gather these items to facilitate our progress, prompting us to engage in activities we often overlook in real life. This point is reminiscent of a famous saying, even a broken clock shows the right time twice a day. In the game The Last of Us, characters frequently reference their pains and suffering, believing that no one can truly understand them. For instance, in a scene where Ellie, after losing her friend, tells Joel, "I'm not your daughter," Joel angrily replies, "You don't know what loss means." These dialogues clearly illustrate that each character struggles to compare their pain to that of others, seeking to understand if their suffering is greater. Such comparisons are also prevalent in real life. For example, when someone says, "I barely slept last night and I'm so tired," the other person might immediately respond, "Well, at least you got some sleep. I couldn't sleep at all." And then proceed to list their own grievances to demonstrate that they are worse off. While these comparisons might seem logical, in reality, each individual has their own capacity and mental state, making it impossible to measure pain against one another. Instead of engaging in these fruitless debates, it would be wonderful if people showed empathy towards each other and set aside discussions about whose pain is greater. Humans need loving kindness, not the validation of their suffering to others. In The Last of Us 2, we encounter various groups, each with specific goals, and all of them believe they are right. Interestingly, they have no means of communication other than war and deceit, and given the ethics of each group, even negotiation proves ineffective. We also observe such differences in friendly relationships. For instance, Ellie does not share Dinah's religious beliefs and does not believe in the effectiveness of her rituals, while Dinah is convinced that her practices bear fruit. Each character is certain that their path is correct, leading us to question, which one is right? This inquiry reminds us to look beyond superficial information and to delve deeper into research, considering both opposing and supporting views of our beliefs. Ultimately, forgiveness is one of the hardest things a person can do. Can anyone forgive the murderer of their father? In The Last of Us 2, Ellie, despite all the pain she has endured, ultimately decides to forgive. This choice not only illustrates her strength and growth as a character, but also conveys a deeper message that Neil Druckmann, as the creator of this story, wishes to impart: the importance of empathy and forgiveness over violence and hatred. Unfortunately, many individuals in the gaming industry have failed to grasp this message. The threats against actress Abby Anderson reveal that some gamers lack the ability to understand the depth of the story and its characters, settling for superficial criticisms instead. The harsh reality is that those who claim to be fans of Ellie and Joel may never learn from their ethics, values, and capacity for forgiveness, often fueling hatred towards them. This phenomenon is evident in the disputes within the gaming community. In this context, we must ask ourselves which of the mentioned traits we possess and which ones we wish to cultivate. Do we have the ability to empathize and forgive, or are we merely focused on proving our own pain and suffering? These are questions that can encourage us to reflect and change our perspectives. Which of the mentioned traits do you possess? Which one do you intend to cultivate in yourself?